You wake up. Same alarm. Same routine. Same reactions. You think you're steering the ship of your life, but the truth is chilling. You're running on autopilot. You're not thinking, you're repeating. Like a machine coded with outdated instructions, you obey the scripts written long ago, by your parents, your teachers, your society, and worst of all, by your own insecurities. Your patterns have turned into your identity. But let me ask you something dangerous. What if everything you believe about yourself, your intelligence, your limitations, your identity, is a lie? What if your thoughts aren't facts, but traps? In dark psychology, we don't deal with the surface. We don't comfort the ego. We dig beneath the smile, beneath the excuses, into the crypt of human behavior, where fear, control, and conditioning rule everything. And this is where it begins. Your thinking patterns are not sacred. They are programmable. And if they can be programmed, they can be reprogrammed. Let's look at the cycle you're trapped in. You think a thought. That thought triggers an emotion. The emotion reinforces the thought. And then you act based on both. It's called a cognitive loop, and it's the silent dictator of your reality. Let's say your pattern is self-doubt. It starts as a whisper. What if I fail? That whisper breeds anxiety. The anxiety confirms the fear. And now you avoid risk. You procrastinate. You shrink. The loop tightens, and you never even knew it had started. It's not just a habit. It's a neurological groove, a trench carved into your brain. Every time you think that thought again, it digs deeper. And soon it's no longer a thought. It's your truth. But here's the horror. The loop isn't real. It's a hallucination created by repetition. And what's repeated becomes reality. We don't just think, we believe. And once a belief is formed, the mind fights to protect it, even if it's toxic. What? Because beliefs become identity. And identity is the ego's kingdom. You've said it. I'm just not a confident person. I've always been bad with money. I'm not creative. I overthink everything. Who told you that? And why did you agree? Here's the terrifying truth. Most of your identity was formed by accident, by random experiences, by one-time failures, by passing comments from people who don't even remember saying them. Yet you built your castle on that sand. You wear it like armor. But in dark psychology, we don't treat identity as sacred. We treat it as fungible, malleable. And the moment you stop defending your thoughts, you can start destroying them. Your brain is not fixed. It's not a stone. It's a sponge. A living, rewiring organism that changes based on your attention. The science is called neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself. Every time you interrupt a thought pattern and replace it with a new one, your brain forms a new connection. Break the loop. Insert a new thought. Repeat. But here's what they don't tell you. Neuroplasticity is neutral. It doesn't care what you build. It will strengthen any pattern you repeat, empowering or destructive. Which means if you repeat weakness, you become weaker. If you repeat power, you become dangerous. This is why dark psychology is feared, because it hands you the sword and says, your mind is your weapon or your cage. You choose. Here's the forbidden truth. Every master manipulator uses the same tools on others that they first used on themselves. Language, repetition, emotion, anchoring, visualization, identity reframing. These aren't just tools for persuading others. They're tools for rewriting your own mind. Want to think like a predator? Speak like one. Want to eliminate fear? Visualize victory so vividly your nervous system believes it. Want to break a bad pattern? Anchor pain to it so your body rejects it instinctively. You can manipulate yourself into anything. Bravery, focus, confidence, ruthlessness, but it requires war. Because your old patterns won't die quietly. They'll scream. They'll disguise themselves as rational caution. They'll whisper, this isn't you. They'll weaponize your memories. But if you want to evolve, you must betray your past self. People walk around like zombies, sleepwalking through their own lives, oblivious to the loops controlling them. But you're not here to stay asleep. You're here to see the patterns and break them. Pattern recognition is power. Once you recognize a loop, it loses its grip. Catch the voice that always criticizes you before you start. Catch the urge to compare before it drains your worth. Catch the spiral of guilt before it ruins your progress. This is how a warrior trains, through awareness, interruption, and ruthless replacement. Because change doesn't begin with motivation. It begins with destruction. You don't add a new pattern on top of an old one. You kill the old one. You tear it out by the root. You replace it with something stronger. You say you want change. But do you? Because change feels like death. It triggers the amygdala, the brain's fear center. It feels unsafe. And that's the point. Your brain was designed to survive, not to evolve. So when you try to grow, your nervous system resists. This is why most people never change. Because they wait to feel ready. But feelings are traitors. The truth is, you won't feel safe while growing. You'll feel exposed, weak, lost, alone. But those feelings? They are not stop signs. They are thresholds. Cross them and you escape the psychological cage. Avoid them and you stay in it forever. Here is the black box formula to change thinking patterns, used in dark psychology, military conditioning, and elite performance training. Identify the pattern, track it. Name it. Know when it hits. Interrupt the loop. Use a pattern breaker. Shout. Snap a band. Stand up. Shock your system. Replace the thought. Insert a power phrase. Not an affirmation. A command. I decide. I dominate. I don't retreat. Anchor emotion. Associate the new thought with intense emotion. Feel it as truth. Repeat daily. Repetition isn't boring. It's brain surgery. Do this with precision. Do it like your life depends on it, because it does. Here's the part no one tells you. Once you change your thinking patterns, you will lose people. Why? Because most of your relationships were built on the old version of you. The insecure version. The apologetic version. The compliant version. Once you break your patterns, you break their control over you. And they'll fight to pull you back, not out of malice, but out of comfort. So ask yourself, do you want to be liked or liberated? You can't have both. There is one voice that resists every change. It knows your secrets. It knows your shame. It knows how to strike with perfect timing. The inner critic is the final boss. It says, this isn't working. You'll never change. You're wasting your time. But listen carefully, that voice isn't you. It's your old patterns trying to survive. They sense death, so they beg. They plead, they attack, they shame. And that's how you know you're close. When your thoughts turn violent, desperate, and loud, that's when the change is working. Don't run. Press forward. Bury the old voices in the silence of your new identity. You were born into a world of noise, scripts, expectations, loops. But you are not a puppet. You are an architect. And architects don't wait for change. They design it. You have the power to rewire your brain, rebuild your identity, and reprogram your reality. But the price is high. You must destroy what you once believed. Betray who you once were. Step into discomfort until it feels like home. And most of all, you must never trust your default thoughts again. From this moment on, every thought must be chosen. Every belief crafted. Every emotion anchored. Because in the end, the mind is either your kingdom or your prison. And you are the one who holds the key.